How sad, how stupid, how immature, how hilarious. How hilarious all of it is. I want to laugh. Do you know how much I want to laugh? I was pain, that's all I was. Everything else, every chance given to me, every promise I'd made, all of it was pain. And what use in being just pain? It's not dignified, it's not kind, and if not dignified and not kind, then maybe it's not worth anything. Maybe it's better off as nothing, gone, dead. I was 10. I got one of my father's razor blade, and I got down on my knees. I put the metal on my wrist, the edge scratching cold, the blood on my hand. Then I looked up to mother and father, and I prayed. I was alone, like everyone else in Gotham. I saw everyone in Gotham, all of us. We're all on our knees, our hands together, the blood, the blade, warm between them. We prayed, but no one answered. I saw, and I understood. Finally, kindness, dignity. I let the razor fall, and I understood. It was done. I'd done it. I'd surrendered. My life was no longer my life, and I whispered, I swear by the spirit of my parent to avenge their death by spending the rest of my life worrying on all criminals. So that's what it is. The ears, the belt, the gargoyle. It's not funny. It's the choice of a boy. The choice to die. I am Batman. I am suicide.
Batman is my favorite superhero. You know what? Scratch that. Batman is my favorite character in all of fiction. But as much as I like the character, he's such a complex character that it can become really hard to truly understand him. Batman is featured in a lot of great stories, but not every story really tries to dive into the psychology of the character. Sure, some do it, but most of them don't. So we end up seeing Batman as this detective crime fighter that fight endlessly. But we don't really often ask ourselves how he feels about it. Sure, he doesn't exist, so what does it matter, right? But Batman is such an amazing character to me that I couldn't help myself but to wonder what is Bruce Wayne's relationship with Batman. So at this point you're probably wondering what's the point of this video, right? Well, we will dive into Batman's psyche and try to prove that Batman is, in fact, suicide. But, and there's a but does that mean there's no good ending for Batman? That's the question of the video. So if you're interested, I hope that you're ready for the jump. So what was that speech I started with about pain and suicide? If you're familiar with recent Batman comics, you probably realize that it was the controversial I am suicide monologue. Let's go through it real quick to understand what it really means.
I was pain. That's all I was. Everything else, every chance given to me, every promise I'd made, all of it was pain. And what use in being just pain? It's not dignified, it's not kind, and if not dignified and not kind, then maybe it's not worth anything.
Batman was created by pain. Batman would never existed without pain. His main drive is to prevent this pain to every other kid of Gotham.
It was done. I'd done it. I'd surrendered. My life was no longer my life.
I'll get to this in a moment.
And I whispered, I swear by the spirit of my parent to avenge their death by spending the rest of my life worrying on all criminals.
Okay, so he's not saying that he wants to die, but by being the Batman, he surrendered his life as Bruce Wayne. He gave up on his happiness for the sake of his crusade. Bruce Wayne don't want to die, but by being Batman, he's holding a gun on his head every day. And if he never stopped being the Batman, this gun will stay on his head, his fingers slowly aching on the trigger. He don't want to die, but he's ready for what holding this gun might cause. I know the counter argument here. Are cops also suicide because they spend their life saving people? Well, no, that's not the same. Gordon never stopped being Gordon. for the sake of being a cop. He has a wife and children. Gordon has a life and he has happiness. Bruce Wayne also has a life and happiness, but he doesn't feel like he deserves it, and will try to push Bruce Wayne happiness for the sake of Batman's never-ending crusade on crime. This gun on his head, he doesn't hold it willingly. He does it because he have to. He promised. And if he had to, he would choose this gun on his head over his happiness. Even the animated series Batman shared those aspects of the character where he struggled between choosing his happiness and Batman.
It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? Look, I can give money to the city, they can hire more cops, let someone else take the risk, but it's different now. Please, I need it to be different now. I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
And it really seemed to tear him apart, and it's like Batman is something that he has to do over anything. Batman don't like being the goddamn Batman, but he will do it because he have to. In some kind of twisted irony, Batman is killing him, and even though he don't want to be Batman, he need to be Batman. That's part of who he is, and even if being Batman doesn't make him happy, he need to be Batman to be happy. All of this is simplified in New 52, Scott Snyder's run of Batman. Bruce Wayne need to die in order for Batman to live. So now we know that Batman is more or less a death sentence for Bruce Wayne. The question we have now is, can Bruce Wayne stop being the Batman? It's hard to say. There's one scene that kind of pushed the idea that he can, and there's another scene that kind of pushed the fact that he can't. The first one is from The Mask of Phantasm, that I just showed, where he's struggling between his promise and his happiness. You can truly see how hard it is for him to stop being Batman. It's something that he needs to do, and well, even so, he actually goes for his happiness this time. So does that mean he can actually stop? Well, it's where the other scene comes into play, and it kind of breaks the hope of Bruce Wayne dropping Batman. So eventually, in the New 52's run of Batman, Bruce Wayne lost his memory, and he just started to live as Bruce Wayne, and when he learned from Alfred that he is Batman, he still decided to choose to live as Bruce Wayne instead of Batman. But even without regaining his memory of his parent, he decided to go back as the Batman because he have to when he is needed. When there's actually a crisis, he decided that he need to be Batman because he is Batman. Sure, he could have stopped before if he had someone to fill the void left by his parent, but the moment he became Batman, he can't stop. Batman is part of who he is. He is Batman because he is Batman. As long as he can save life, he will be Batman. And being Batman is suicidal. So Batman can't have a good ending? I don't know. Batman was created by tragedy, but even without this tragedy, he still goes on with being Batman because he is Batman. Sure, if his parents weren't shot in that alley, he would probably just be some random billionaire, but it happened. The second he became Batman, Batman became something that he can do, therefore need to do. So, is there a way for him to stop? Sure, if he loses his memory and no one tell him he is Batman, then yeah, that could fix it, but that would be a cheap way out. If he get crippled, sure, he will stop being Batman, but not on his own term, and it would make him feel like a failure. No. Is there a way for the real Batman to stop? Well, as sad as it sounds, no. I do not think Bruce Wayne will ever stop being Batman. With that said, is there a way for a happy ending for Batman? You know, after going through a ton of Batman comic and reflecting on the subject for hours, I honestly thought the answer was no. I kept thinking of a way to just stop torturing himself and be, just happy. I mean, he's happy sometimes, but I couldn't find a way for him to be truly happy with his life. But then I remembered that one weird little dream sequence type of scene where Batman is like the mayor or something, and suddenly I got that one thought that completely changed my mind. When I started to write this video, I had one thought in mind. He can only be happy and only have a true good ending if he stopped being Batman, because Batman is suicide. But if Bruce is Batman and can't stop being Batman, maybe the thing is not to stop being the Batman, but change the Batman. Maybe it's time for the Dark Knight to step into the light. So I conclude that in order for Bruce Wayne to have his rightfully deserved happy ending, he needs to transform Batman into something new. He don't want to give up on the Batman, but he doesn't really have to. What if Batman stepped out of the shadow and convinced the government of Gotham to let him have his own non-lethal Bat unit of people he carefully choose and train himself? If he can acquire some sort of unit like the Splinter Cell where they can operate outside the law for the good of the people. No, better, what if Batman himself become the government? If Bruce Wayne is in charge, he could let Batman have his unit to clean Gotham in secret. With that unit of trustworthy people as Batman's, Bruce Wayne wouldn't need to be all night fighting crime. You know, like Cop with Shift. But it's weird saying that Batman should take break or would take a break, but seeing how well Dick Grayson and Gordon can handle themselves, it just makes you think that maybe he doesn't need to be up every night. They're not as good as him, but maybe he could let other people handle a night or two. Other than that Bat unit, he could also give the GCPD some of his Bat tech so that the cop could handle more dangerous crime. If Bruce overcome his trust issue, he could do a lot of good for Gotham just by trusting the right people, and most of all, he could do a lot of good to himself. If a Dark Knight is the hero Gotham deserves, maybe a White Knight is the hero Bruce Wayne needs. Bruce Wayne became the mayor of Gotham and allowed Batman to have a small unit of Bat Vigilante. Then he used his money to give the GCPD some of Batman's tech, while slowly rebuilding Gotham into a new prosperous city. After a couple of years, Bruce and Selina finally decide to get married for real this time. And together they jump from rooftop and rooftop as husband and wife. With the upgraded GCPD and the Bat unit, the criminality of Gotham is slowly dropping. A couple of years after the wedding, Selina got pregnant of their first child. Walking out of the theater with his wife and child a couple of years later, Bruce smiled as they passed safely through Park Row, formerly known as Crime Alley. Bruce will never stop being Batman, but he's not needed every night, at least not anymore. Their daughter grow up and become a respectable woman, and with the new safer Gotham, she doesn't need to be like her dad or mom. Neither a hero or a villain, just a normal girl. Bruce happily look at the sky, no bat signal in sight. As Gotham sleep, Batman finally do the same. Batman is suicide, but does he have to be?
I am vengeance, I am tonight, I am Batman.